Backlash is just 2 days away, so I'm going to give you my full predictions. I'm going to give you my prediction of who I think should and will win each match. If I think there could be a possible surprise return, a debut, interference in the matches, I'm going to give you everything. Let's get into it. First match, let's talk about Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. Now, I think there is a person who needs to win here in order for this feud to continue, especially, and the reason it needs to continue is because it's looking like they're going for the trilogy. I don't see this huge feud, WrestleMania-worthy feud blowing off at Backlash. Maybe having another match at Night of Champions Clash in Italy, and then ultimately culminating in SummerSlam. I really hope this doesn't stretch out to next WrestleMania. So far, this feud has been amazing. Their promo was fantastic. Their brawls have looked real and been believable. It looks like they really hate each other. Braun Breaker needs to win this match, 100% without a shadow of a doubt. If Seth Rollins wins, the veteran, the mentor, who raised this beast, kind of in a way, if he wins, the feud is over. He won. And you have the perfect excuse to let Braun Breaker win by having the Vision get involved, the numbers game costing Seth Rollins, and that can lead to him getting his rematch. Which is exactly what I think is going to happen. I think the Vision's going to get involved here. That's exactly how he's going to lose. I think ultimately at SummerSlam, when they have their, likely have their, third match of the feud, Bronson Reed will return and give Braun Breaker the win. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this Backlash match. But yeah, that's all I have for this match. Braun Breaker should and I think will win because of the help from the Vision, ultimately giving Seth Rollins a rematch. Next match we're going to talk about is Io Sky versus Asuka. Now, first of all, this match is going to absolutely bang. This is probably going to be the best in-ring match of the night. Io Sky is probably the best professional wrestler in the world, man or woman, and Asuka is damn near the top of the women's division, at least in terms of in-ring wrestling. So this match is going to be incredible, which I am very excited for. However, we can't talk about this match without talking about the entire reason that this match is happening, that being Kairi Sane, who was recently released from the WWE. Do I think she should return? Of course, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. But these predictions aren't what I want to happen, it's what I think is going to happen. It is about what the WWE, I think, is going to do. And even with all the backlash, pun intended, not really, but it's not as much as like the R-Truth backlash last year. And she should return. I mean, this entire storyline and feud and match quite literally doesn't happen without Kairi Sane. The only reason that they are feuding is strictly because of Kairi Sane and Asuka's abusive relationship with her. It's reported that Kairi Sane wanted to go back to Japan. I believe the belief within WWE, according to some dirt sheets, is that people believe there's over a 50% chance of Kairi returning at Backlash. Unfortunately, I just don't see it happening. I think what WWE is going to do is just not have her return, sweep this under the rug, and just want you to completely forget about the feud and act like it never even happened. There's probably going to be "We Want Kairi" chants throughout the whole match. They're probably going to mute them. They've been muting the "We Want Kairi" chants when they've happened, or at least turning them down, making them quieter, which I don't think they did with the "We Want Truth" movement. I don't think Kairi's coming back. Again, I really want her to. I think it would be awesome if she did, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. If Kairi isn't going to return, I think Asuka should win this match. I don't see exactly what Io is going to be doing next since she's not with Rhea Ripley. And Asuka, I think, needs to win more than Io Sky. But I don't know if it's probably just not going to matter in the end, if we're being honest. I think Io Sky will end up winning, though. So I'll say Asuka should win, but Kyrie should win. I'll say Asuka should win, but Io will win. At the very least, I can be excited for this amazing match. Next, we have a tag team match between Kit Wilson and The Miz going up against Danhausen and a mystery partner. This feud has been amazing. It's so funny. I love having a comedy segment every week involving these guys, at least pretty much every week. But the only real thing to talk about in this match is the mystery partner, because I think it's pretty obvious that Danhausen and the mystery partner are going to win. One potential option that has been circulating is Royce Keys. I think it would be kind of interesting. I think he's probably the second most likely option. I do think it would be a little bit lame because we're expecting, I think most people at least are expecting another comedy character or maybe possibly a big return. I wouldn't mind this. It's just not my first choice though. We do know that they hinted at this partner being someone who likes money, because Danhausen said as long as it's someone who likes money or something like that. So I think we have to talk about CM Punk, who famously said after his return, "I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. I like money." I don't know exactly what they're doing with CM Punk. He was advertised for the most recent episode of Raw. He wasn't there. I don't know if he's on vacation. I don't know what they're doing. So I don't think this one is very likely to happen. I think it would be cool, but he's also on Raw, although I guess they just randomly sent Gunther over to SmackDown. So, you know, who knows? I don't think it'll happen though. But speaking of money, probably he's very associated with money. I think we have to talk about Shane McMahon. I still firmly stand by my take that Vince McMahon is never returning to the WWE. He was last in action at WrestleMania 39. This would be a pretty cool return. I know that he did a lot of crazy stuff, just doing crazy stunts. He's never done anything wrong. He's just kind of also been banned from WWE for having the McMahon last name. I would be open to seeing this. I don't think it's actually that unrealistic. I think there is a realistic chance of this happening. Another comedy character, Joe Hendry. He did have that past feud with The Miz around Christmas time. I would really like to see this. I think they would make a really good tag team together for one match. And also, they seem to just not really care about the whole say his name and he appears thing anymore, because in a backstage segment with The Vision on the most recent episode of Raw, they said his name like 3 or 4 times and he didn't appear. So they just seem to not care about that anymore, which is actually infuriating. Like, that's literally his entire gimmick. Why are you not putting in more effort to do this, to keep it alive? Not the point though. I think this is also a very likely chance of happening. However, I think the most likely option is Jelly Roll. We already know he was scheduled for a tag match, or at least it was at least rumored that he was scheduled for a tag match at Backlash between him teaming up with Randy Orton going up against the team, Jelly teaming up with Cody and Pat McAfee and Randy together. But obviously Pat McAfee left the WWE. They seem to have scrapped the entire storyline with Pat McAfee. So Jelly he still doesn't have any music dates around this time. And he has a history, a very, a good amount of history with all 3 of these guys. And I am sure that he is eager, as a man of the people, he is eager to jump off the top rope and make Santi Zap oil up. I'm picking Jelly Roll to be Danhausen's tag team partner, and I think this is finally the place where he is going to jump off the top rope, and we are going to get Santi Zap getting that lube all over his body. That oil getting nice and moist. Next, we have a United States Championship match between the champion Trick Williams and the challenger Samuel Zayn. This is actually a fairly tough match to predict, I think, because I think Trick Williams should win, but I could see WWE going with Sami Zayn because it's looking like they're going to turn him heel, and if you want to make him an ultra super mega heel, putting the United States Championship on him would be a great way to do that. So it's honestly tough, but I think I'm going to stick with my gut here and say Trick Williams does win, as he should. He should win, he will win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn did actually end up winning this. Unfortunately, we know Lil Yachty's going to be there, so he's probably going to get involved. I can't wait to see what Trick Williams does with the United States title. It would quite frankly just be pretty stupid to take the title off him. Hasn't gotten to defend it yet, and has so much potential to do great things with it. Like I said, I think Lil Yachty will get it. Like I said, I think Lil Yachty will interfere, costing Sami Zayn the match. Now on to the main event between Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match initially was looking like it was going to be super easy to predict, but oh boy, the tables have been rotated. They have turned, the turns have been tabled. I really don't know who's going to win this. I feel like you could honestly toss up a coin and either one of them could win. Roman Reigns was initially scheduled for all the Raws in June and Night of Champions, and then he was pulled from those appearances, but TKO is trying to say it was a clerical error. That is the biggest, fattest, juiciest lie I have ever heard come from TKO's mouth. You don't accidentally make an entire official poster graphic for the event with someone on there who's not gonna be there. That doesn't happen. That's not how it works. You don't think in the process somebody would have caught it? You know, oh, Roman's not going to be there, right? He's never been scheduled to be there. Why am I putting him on here? You don't think someone would have noticed? Baloney. I think there is likely a controversy between Roman Reigns and TKO, likely from them asking him to take a pay cut. So that makes me think that there is a very realistic chance that Roman does not retain the title here. However, there is one thing that tips me over the edge and makes me say that Roman is going to retain here. And that is the fact that he is still scheduled for all the Raws in May and Clash in Italy. I do still think it's anyone's game. Just kidding. Nah, it's LA Knight's game. Yeah. I do still think anybody can win this. That's just what brought me over the edge. I think Roman should and will win this. Now let's talk interferences. There's a chance that it becomes, a bloodline rules match. Ref goes down and the Usos get involved. The MFTs get involved. But what I find interesting is that this past Monday, the Usos said they were going to be there for Roman if he was getting attacked or something. He got attacked, and the Usos were nowhere to be found. And I feel like they did that very intentionally, and that can lead to something between Roman and the Usos. So I don't think the Usos are going to get involved in this match. The MFTs, that's a bit more questionable, a bit more up in the air, I think. But I'm going to say they don't. I'm going to say that this is a clean match unless we get the debut of SawyerTheLatte. The past 2 years at Backlash, 2 Bloodline members have debuted. Tongaloa in the big 2024 and JC Mateo in the big 2025. SawyerTheLatte wrestled on TNA. I think he's WWE ready, but I think when he does come to the WWE, he will go through NXT first, assuming he does come to the WWE. I don't think he'll debut here. There is definitely a chance, so keep him in the back of your mind, but I don't think it's going to happen here. So I'm going to say clean match, Roman wins, no interferences or anything like that, no funny business. I really do think it could go either way though, but let me know what you think. Let me know your predictions for Backlash. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and bye.
Backlash.